Did you ever play Mario 64 and think, this is fun, but I wish Mario was a car? No? Or are you sure? Okay, well, maybe you should have, because it's finally here! Welcome to Cario 64, otherwise known as Yellow Taxi Goes Vroom. In this game, you play as an autonomous wind-up taxi developed by a greasy mechanic named Morio, who tasks you with traveling to Tosla HQ to quell an alien invasion led by CEO Alien Mosk. This is a work of fiction that contains crude humor. Any resemblance to actual persons living or dead, actual events, or actual companies is purely coincidental. Morio is a complex and well-written character who graces you with a variety of flattering angles during dialogue, including extreme butt close-ups and upshots of his nose. And if you still can't get enough, just visit his house for some premium Morio content. Okay, that's literally not the content. The content is my gameplay, so if I catch you guys staring at naked Morio, like, stop. The overarching goal of this platformer is to collect gears, which are like stars or golden bananas or jigsaw pieces. It's the shiny collectible that lets you unlock portals to new stages and ultimately progress further toward Tosla HQ. Collecting these gears is no small feat, as they are generally placed in hard-to-reach locations. The stages are designed with verticality in mind, where maybe a character like Mario would thrive because he's really good at jumping, but you're just a car, so how are you supposed to... Is it gaming? Is it gaming? Is it gaming? Oh! It's gaming. Oh. Okay. This right here is the magic of Yellow Taxi Goes Vroom. Since you aren't equipped with the standard moveset of a platforming protagonist, you have to find creative and unfamiliar ways to access gears through sheer momentum. This is exciting for longtime platforming fans because it's kind of like learning to walk again. You get to re-experience that satisfying click where you figure out all of the different tricks you can do with your character for the very first time. I remember when I was a dumb kid playing Mario 64, I didn't know how to wall jump, so I just straight up couldn't progress in certain areas, but when I finally figured it out, I was so excited. I had this great feeling of accomplishment, being able to reach places that I couldn't before. And Yellow Taxi Goes Vroom brought me back to this original feeling. There were so many moments where I was like, there's no way I can get to that spot. I see no path to get up there. Unless it's like this ramp. This would be insane though. This would be crazy. That would be insane. I'm not good enough at physics. So I just give up and go to the next stage, thinking that maybe I'm missing an upgrade that I need or something. Just by playing through more stages though, I naturally got better at understanding the taxi's physics and controls over time. When I'd go back to those old spots that I used to think were impossible, I felt so much more confident this time and I just nail it. And this is where the game really shines. Your abilities improve through knowledge and learning rather than in-game upgrades. The taxi's main ability is called the Flip-O-Will, where you simply press a button to propel yourself forward with extra velocity, and this is how you get most of your airtime. But you can perform various tricks during Flip-O-Will's animation that give you even more mobility. The fun part is that you can figure some of them out on your own through experimentation, and as you advance through the stages, the devs sprinkle in NPCs that explain every different trick you can do, but they leave the most dramatic tricks for last. For example, you're taught one of the most game-breaking abilities right before the final stage. What? And if I had known this trick for the first 90% of the game, everything would have been so much easier, but this actually made the entire experience more rewarding, because even not having access to the full moveset, I still managed to find my own ways to reach difficult areas. There's almost never only one intended solution, and the levels are designed with freedom in mind. This is why the game doesn't explain everything up front. It wants the player to have their own personal journey mastering the movement system while exploring the stages on their own terms. In addition to gathering gears, if you like a challenge, there are also golden bunnies, which are the harder to reach collectibles, and of course, coins. I wonder what the gold is for. I want fashion. Taxi fashion. Oh my god. The game heard my prayers. I didn't think it would actually have fashion. For an indie title, Yellow Taxi is a pretty sizable game. There are 15 plus different stages, each with their own unique themes, like this arcade with aesthetic carpet, or terrifying pizza land, sweaty gym with roided up muscle bros, construction site with giant constipated monkey, a poop level, thank god, and an extra challenging post-game section which I greatly appreciated because I'm a big fan of post-game content. You don't need every single gear to beat the game, but in total there are 250 gears to collect if you want 100% completion. I usually don't 100% games because I just don't have the attention span, but I happily did it in Yellow Taxi because figuring out how to get all of the gears is actually really fun, and it didn't feel like tedious busy work like it sometimes can in other games. At this point, you might be wondering if you ever actually have to do real taxi stuff in this game, and the answer is yes. Luckily, I am a professional, so I will demonstrate. Some of the stages have a timer in the top right of the screen, which you can increase by delivering clients to their destinations. The timer reaching 0 isn't really that big of a deal because you just die and respawn as normal. You don't lose progress or anything, but if you don't keep up with taxiing people, it can be a nuisance getting respawned every 30 seconds, so you're encouraged to do the minigame. The game also doesn't penalize you for running people over, and at the risk of sounding like a complete psychopath, it's kind of fun. They made running people over fun, it's not my fault. There are a good number of different character designs for the citizens, each with their own unique personalities, and you even get to deliver dogs at one point. A good sense of humor will take me from just liking a game to loving it, and Yellow Taxi definitely ticks this box for me. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and it's packed full of stupid but charming jokes. Whenever I push too much, my shorts warn me by turning brownish. That's disgusting. The whole game is imbued with this whimsical dumbness, even when it's not explicitly trying to be funny. If it wasn't already obvious by Morio and Tosla, Yellow Taxi loves to reference. The entire first stage, Bomb Beach, is a callback to the first stage in Mario 64, Bob-omb Battlefield, even paralleling the stage design with a giant summit in the middle where you fight a bomb boss. The checkered grass pattern resembles Green Hill Zone from Sonic. Some of the NPCs and unlockable hats reference different characters from pop culture, and I could keep going, but the game's lawyer probably wouldn't be too happy. I've noticed this trend where indie developers love to directly reference other art, and it makes sense because I think the most soulful video games are shaped through inspiration, so it's their way of paying homage to the art that inspires them and allows them to create such a great finished product. It also demonstrates a level of respect and care for human creativity, which unfortunately we don't get to see a lot of in the mainstream gaming industry, since rich people who don't actually give a shit about video games are forcing developers to churn out passionless projects that have no inspiration other than dollar signs. Yellow Taxi really vrooms it out of the park in every aspect. There's an awesome level of satisfaction you get from nailing those tough jumps, and you'll constantly surprise yourself with what you're able to pull off in this game. This feels crazy. I wonder... Oh my god! I'm gonna shit my pants. Please don't fall, please don't fall, please don't fall. Oh my god. This game makes me feel like an actual god. Its crispy retro graphics pay homage to the classics with some really great stylistic choices that make it stand out, like how the world map mimics a vintage operating system, or these paintings of Morio's butt, or these giant pizzas wearing heels that dance in the background of the stage. The soundtrack is undeniably addicting, but if we're being honest, the indie scene always nails it in the music department. Overall, I loved this game. It is definitely Pasta Ghost approved, and I recommend it whether you're a platforming gamer or not. It's $17 on Steam, and it has a buttload of content for that price point. I also want to give a shout out to the developers Matteo and Lorenzo of Panic Arcade. This is exactly the kind of soulful video game that helps keep my passion for gaming alive, so thank you so much for making it. And thank you, viewer, for watching. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to vroom vroom the like and subscribe buttons to help support me on my content creation journey. Later.